This conference will now be recorded.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Yes, can you hear me?
Sir, now I can hear you, sir. So
Okay.
far you are muted.
Okay. So hope you can see my screen, right?
Yes, sir. It's visible.
Yes. So we had ended up with last class with this, like FA underscore CMP cutover date. The cutover date means what? The date which we use it for the purpose of so the date, like legacy data we call it. What is legacy data? When we are having any some assets, maybe like when we are switching from Tally to SAP, we might have already have some assets which we need to carry forward to SAP. So for that we require one particular date. Till that date, the depreciation should be done in old system, that is in Tally or any other system, non-SAP system. From there we have to, the value should be transferred to SAP. That's the reason we call this as an LDT, legacy data transfer date. So the date and accounts payable, receivable and other things like that. So that means this is actually A is an asset accounting. Actually, somebody changed the name. So here after this, if you go to this 0L, here you can see that. So the closed fiscal year is 2022. When you enter highest fiscal year 2022, 3, 22, 2023, that's the present financial year, then automatically system updates this. So once this last step is completed, we can create our assets. So what assets we can create? So we plan to create assets, and we had made vehicles. We had made number this one like start of depreciation, and we made this Z0 Z700. That's the asset class with the three as other account determination screen level and number ranges. So with that we can start creating particular assets. Where how can we create? And we can create a purchase assets. Let us create a asset. Let us purchase sorry, create an asset and purchase it, and then we see the other transactions. So how to create an asset? So we can go to AS01 to create asset. AS01. So go to AS01 here. Here pick up the asset class Z700, or else you can directly enter if you don't know. So you can see the Z0 asset buildings are there. So I'm just taking this. So I'm creating one asset under this. So for example, let me create as in factory building. Factory building. The name of this. And if you are required, you can enter the cost center. That means which department is using it or which branch it consisting of, profit center. Like that, we can link it. As of now, I don't link anything, but I will take one cost center. for this particularly, I will take this common cost center. Okay, I do take this. So once it is done, so directly go to depreciation areas, and here we already taken this depreciation key at the time of configuration for this asset class. So based on the system automatically gives it. What is LINA? LINA is a depreciation key which is for made for straight line method. Straight line method means based on the number of years which we are going to use assets, the depreciation value will be calculated. Suppose I enter here 10 years for building the value, the lifetime is 10 years I mentioned here, 10 years useful life which I'm going to use it. Save this. Now 7001 underscore 0 has been created. 7001 underscore 0 has been created. This is the asset number. Once it is done, so let me purchase this. So how can I purchase? Actually, I already created one more asset if you remember. So just means in last video you can see I can go to AR01. AR01. This is one of the report which we can see the asset balances. So that here I mentioned I mentioned this asset, my company code, and I want to get a report of this one. So if I execute this, I don't get anything, because here what we see here, those assets which we have created, sorry, which we have in values, those things only will come here. If you don't have value, if you don't purchase it, only you created, we don't get it. So that means we can see that asset in AS03 also. If I enter this 70000, first asset which I created, factory building, that is also factory building, this is also factory building which I created, two buildings. This you can see the asset number is actually 7000. Which one I created just now is 7001. Next number, that's also factory building. So two assets which I have, I can purchase from a vendor. How do I purchase that? So to purchase assets, generally in real time what happens is generally the assets are purchased through material like purchase order. Generally assets purchased to purchase order, but here we have not yet configured that. So what we do purchase financially. That means we directly purchase from a vendor that asset, debit to vendor credit, and we can make a payment to vendor. So let me purchase. If you want to purchase asset from a vendor, so I can go to F-90. F-90 is the T code where I can purchase assets. F-90. So this is a KR document, that is from vendor we are purchasing. Enter today's date. And reference you can give bill number 01 and asset purchase. Come down, enter the vendor, pick up the vendor. So I have one test vendor under this. Let me take this. 3 is the number, enter, and I purchase for, so I take building at 120 rupees. It's not a realistic value, but still I'll take it 120 rupees. Why do I take 120 rupees? So I tell you the reason behind it, why I'm taking 120 only, so that you get in clarity exactly how SAP works. So if I take this value, or if I take a smaller value. So now I have taken 120 rupees. I'm purchasing this building at 120 rupees from this vendor. So what that I will update my asset also. So where I can go to posting key here. So pick up the posting key 70. So for asset, you can just click on this so that you will get 70. Asset debit is 70. Asset credit is 75. So now I want to debit the asset. Just double click 70 and enter the asset which you are purchasing. Or you can go inside and pick up the asset account. 70000, and I'll take here the transaction type is there. What is the meaning of transaction type? The transaction type which decides how you are acquiring this asset, whether you are acquiring externally, whether you are making whether you are building your assets, or something you are only constructing your asset, or something like in-house acquisition, in-house production, or transfer from other companies. Like that we can decide based on this transaction type. But right now we are acquiring from customers or vendors, so that I use 100 here. External acquisition, enter, and enter 120 rupees, and simulate entry, and save it. It's just like FP60 what we done, the same way. FP60 whatever we have done, the same way we can do it here. There is some customization error. Let me check out. Okay, so this one actually, if somebody do some other changes in Universal Journal ledger settings, that affects our company. Okay, so let me correct this in 2 minutes. You don't worry, you don't get this error. See, they mentioned here. I repeat that FDAS 90 entry. $70 asset number, and 100, 120 rupees, and simulate and save it. So still I'm getting it. Set 3 is cleared. So these are the common problem if someone do something without their knowledge. In this one, till now we are not getting this error actually. So only because of somebody made some ledger changes, they don't know how it works. They simply changes everything. Now it's done. Okay. One second. So we had purchased. There was some that's what I said, right? So some universal journal error we get it because of some other people if they make some changes in leading ledgers and all. So if they use it for something different ledgers, so some non-leading ledgers, then we face this issue. So you do understand that there are those things in parallel ledger concept right now. So we go for it. We go for that 4,000 for whatever the documents was posted is 4,000 that you can see here. So see the entry that we have posted one entry for asset. We have purchased one asset. So let me change this vendor name. Yes, here when we purchase any asset, the entry which you can see here, one is we are getting vendor. So that if I go to asset accounting here, it will generate two documents actually for one anything any one accounting principle whatever you have done, it generate two document. So the two documents if you see here 1,500 and this one. Now you can see here, so the technical clearing account which we use, the technical clearing account is a reconciliation account GL between this general ledger and the general ledger and asset account. So ultimately, if you see here, creditors account credit, that is vendor account credit to asset account debit, that is asset account. What is the 7,000? You can see this in 7,000 space zero. That asset account is debited. And once it is posted, you can go and check. In one more T code is there, that is AR01, which I just showed you before some time. So here, if you execute, if I want to get the report as on 23, 12 to 23, or else I will take it as on 31st 08. Like I want this asset report as on 08. Like it should be last day of the month only, always. Period. I can say last day of the period, 31/08/2023. So select that this use ALV grid. That's ALV means asset list viewer. Just execute. So that whatever the assets which we purchased. So factory building we purchased for about 120 rupees. It is taken as 1 rupee depreciation as in value. That I will show you what it is. If you just double click on this, it will take you to this asset AW01N. That is, this is actually here what you can see now. You can see that particular asset. So when we purchased and what is the ordinary depreciation as on this end of the year. So the planning. That means we are in August now. See, if I take 120 rupees, so why did I take 120 rupees? I tell you. See, 10 years of life. So it consisting of 120 months. Depreciation generally happens monthly. So 120 rupees, 120 months. So that 1 rupee depreciation per month. Each month is 1 rupee. So how system is calculated? Each month 1 rupee because 120 years, 10 years use of life I have taken. So based on use of life only, system will take the depreciation. That means if I have 10 years of life of building, so that is going to be 120 months. 120 months divided by 120 is 1 rupee per month. So per month 1 rupee depreciation system is calculated for this at this end of the year. End of the year, 5 rupees depreciation is going to be calculated like it is August, September, October, November, December, 5 rupees. And if you want to see the detail, you can click on this posted value. So here you can see 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So August, September, October, November, December, it's showing 5 rupees depreciation will be done at the end of the year. So that at the end of the year, the book value will be 115 rupees. And if you click on these comparisons, so however, whatever the values you mentioned in here, like 10 years, so system automatically calculates how much for each year, each month. It will calculate. Say 120 rupees has been done for 2023 to 2033. 10 years value it has taken. Each month 12 rupees it will take. Each day, each month. That means each year 12 rupees. Each month 1 rupee. So what will be the net book value as on that particular year end? So this is how system plans automatically. That's the reason I had taken 120 rupees particularly, so that it will be very clear understanding. Let me purchase one more asset. So from the same vendor, I go to F-90. So I do purchase for 240 rupees, double of that. So I can enter asset purchase. And 70 is the posting key. That is, see, this is this 70 or posting key, whatever. It's FB60 also, we see the same thing. I do take one more on class on this posting keys and other things and all. Right now, enter posting key for assets. Just enter the asset, which asset you want to purchase. I want to purchase second asset, 7001, which you can see here. 700 underscore, that is 0. 7001 space 0, and enter 100 here and 240 rupees and 700. What's the problem? Okay, 1 second. Let me try this. Remove this. Actually, this is the problem. I tell you why it's problem now. So let me purchase that in F-90. Save it. So this second entry has been posted. So what is the second entry? So that I can go to the same AR01. So you can see here, just I refresh this data again, so that I can see the two entries now. One is for 120 rupees, another building is for 240 rupees. And here also you can see the same 10 years which you have planned, right? So what will be the depreciation at the month year end? So year end means it is showing the fiscal report for 2023 financial year. And what will be the each month depreciation? It will automatically calculates. It automatically calculates. That is how it works. So is it clear, Madhav?
Yes, sir. It's clear.
Yeah, nice.
Like because in the straight line method, so the depreciation value will be constant for 10 years. So in WDV method,
Yes,
what happens? The depreciation will be calculated on the balance amount from the
yes,
next month.
percentage. It's based on
Yeah.
percent.
Yes, sir. So that I understood.
Yes, nice. So once after, so we'll see the scenarios. We purchase two assets. Okay, I'll show you one more asset I'll purchase. I do create one more asset and I do purchase one more asset. That means I go to AS01 for your understanding. So I go to asset class and the factory number building 038 by I go the third building. So don't enter anything here. Just go to depreciation. Here you can enter 10 years, 20 years, whatever it is your plan you can mention. So if you enter 20 years also not a problem and save it. This is done. So now go and purchase this 7002 again in F-90 bill number 3. The same vendor 240 rupees. So this is 20 years, so that it's going to be 240 months. So you can change here itself instead of selecting 100, 240 and asset purchase, simulate and save. So three assets which we have purchased right now. So three assets. The details which we can see it in. See AR01 where you can see all the assets details based on the asset class, based on the company code you can see that. Drawing the report. You can see the end of the year depreciation value. The same other T code the other T code is actually it's AW01. We call it as an asset explorer. This is for individual asset report. This is individual asset report. One second. So we run the depreciation. So here, so in college days and in Tally and all, if you run the depreciation, generally what we used to do, depreciation expenses, debit to asset credit. We used to do this. Okay. But in SAP, we don't directly do the asset credit. Actually, there is one accumulated depreciation account will come. So what's the use of this? Actually, when we collect the depreciation, when we do the depreciation expenses debit, so it will be transferred to accumulated depreciation account first. When we transfer, or else when we retire the asset, or when we when we transfer it, or when we scrap the assets, whatever we do now. So at the end of this, then we transfer this accumulated depreciation value to the assets. That means each time when we do the assets depreciation, it is going to be updated to accumulated depreciation instead of directly to the asset. We already created these two GLs and we already mapped as well. If you remember in the last class, yeah, here. So asset GL, the 2000 GL which we have done. So now if I run the depreciation is going to be 5110 account, expenses GL, and 2099 is the accumulated depreciation. And remember, whenever, so one note which I want to add here, 1 second please.
Sir, you are muted. Sir, hello, sir, you are muted.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry. So whenever any P&L account GL are assigned for posting, system generated entries for system generated entries. That means uh, here the depreciation is going to be posted by system only. Then it is mandatory should assign cost centers to P&L account GLs in OKB9. OKB9 is one of the T code which we use it for the purpose of assigning default cost centers and profit center for automatic postings. That means at the time of transactions we will not be having option to system generated entries. System generated entries means the depreciation is going to be system only is going to be posted. So we don't will not be having an option will not be having an option to post the entries or also to enter the cost centers automatically. So what should I do here? I should go to OKB9. Here go to new entries, enter company code B-20 and enter the GL account. That means the depreciation expenses GL. If I use this depreciation, the cost center should be the cost center should be common cost center. That means system automatically pick up this common cost center for postings. So this we keep using this again and again so that you will become familiar with this. Right now you should do this step before running the depreciation. Once after doing the thing, so go to depreciation run. So how we can run the depreciation? So this depreciation generally we have to run it every month. Then I go to AFAB. So now I want to run it for August period. So enter the posting period 8 and fiscal year is 2020 and company code is BI-20 and detailed log and test run. So run it in test run and execute. So the number range will come as an this one. Actually it should come 505, but it's coming 03. So let it be whatever it comes, no problem. If you get this now, just click on this, then document number ranges, execute this program, and this is nothing but fbn1. Fbn1 in the beginning we do, right, the same thing, and click on this intervals. So see here, 03 2023 is external they made. Somebody made this as an external. Just remove this and save it. If you get this, you do it. If or else, don't worry. Now, if I execute this, see, system is showing that if it shows the green means everything is okay. Run ended successfully. This is a test run which we are doing. This you can see here. This is a test run, and when I run the depreciation, as of now on the August period, system post 1 rupee to the factory building, second factory building 2 rupees, third factory building 3 is going to be 1 rupees. Total 4 rupees depreciation are going to be posted. 4 rupees. Go back and remove the test run, and you cannot do it again here. You should go to program and execute in background. Just click OK. Immediately you have to do yes and save it. Depreciation is scheduled. So once after doing this, go and check the entry. How you can check the entry? So go to AR01 or else AW01 also you can go, and you can take this execute. Select that you use ALV grid. That is ALV means asset list, sorry, ABAP list viewer, the one of the type report, and just double click on this first one. Now, if you notice here in the posted value, after depreciation run, the August month posted value has become 8 rupees. That means, sorry, 1 rupee is green. That was in planning before, now it is a posted. So automatically that will update. So next month if you run, it will update it as a posted. If you double click on this, and you get the depreciation details, just click OK here. See this here, this is the document number 3000, sorry, 30000. Double click on this and take this document number and go to FB03. FB03. Enter the document number and fiscal year. Enter. You can see this. So for three assets, one is 7000, 7001, and 7002. The asset numbers. You can see this in description. So you can see accumulated depreciation 1 rupee, depreciation expenses 1 rupee. Like that, second one is 2 rupees, third one is 1 rupee. So total 5 rupees, sorry, 4 rupees has been posted for depreciation, accumulated depreciation. So hope you are clear, right, Madhav?
Yes, sir. It's clear.
Nice. So this is one of the scenario, depreciation. So there are some different scenarios which we have to understand right now, one by one. One is depreciation we run, and suppose if you are selling, okay. So what happens? You sell the asset for some. For example, you have like a building now 120 rupees. You may sell it for higher value and a lesser value. Example, so as on August 31st, that means in August, you bought something and you run already depreciation. If you run a depreciation, if you sell a product, like for example, factory building 1, which we bought it for 120 rupees, building 1. So we have purchased for 120 rupees. As of now, depreciation is 1 rupee. So this is asset value purchased, and this is depreciation. So now the present value is net book value is 119 rupees. Now if I sell this for 120 rupees, 130 rupees you suppose. So I get 11 rupees profit, right? Am I right? Or
Yes,
gain
sir.
or loss? Gain or loss. If I sell it for 110, I get 9 rupees loss, right? So whatever the value. So in SAP, whenever you do, we already done all these configurations with the GL account. If I sell asset, what will be the thing? And if I so gain from asset, what should be the GL account? If I lost from sale of asset, what should be the GL? Asset scrapping, what should be the, which we already configured everything. Only thing is, as these three GLs are related to, what P&L account, I must specifically these two GLs. One is gain from sale of asset, that is a profit center, and another one is cost center. This one, so I should do okay. This I should apply because it's a system generated entry which we are going to see. System automatically calculates that what should be the gain or loss from the sale of asset, and it will automatically post the entries as well. We had created and we had assigned this. So now what should I do? I have to assign this GL account in OKB9 specifically. OKB9. It is locked. I only opened. Yeah, it's here. So go to BI-20. Tell the system for 5,300 GL account, that is gain from, sorry, loss from asset sale. So it should post to this cost center. At the same time, 4,100 gain from sale of asset. So it's a revenue account. So it's not a cost center. I should require profit center. So I want to system should post to one profit center. Chennai profit center. I will take it. Enter. So that if I get a profit or loss, system automatically finds this GL account and as well as the cost centers as well. So once this is done, so let me go and do the activity. What activity I should do? Let me sell an asset for 130 rupees. One asset, I'll show you one asset selling. So what should be the, what's the T code for that? So if I want to do the sale of asset, okay, there is one T code ABN, sale of asset. Okay, so ABN. So I can go through the path as well. So I can go to accounting, financial accounting, asset accounting, fixed assets. Under that we have so postings. Under that we have this retirement. So retirement with revenue. So ABAON. It's actually not ABN. It's AON. ABAON. So I can go through this path. This is accounting, financial accounting, fixed assets, postings, retirement, ABAON. Here you should mention which asset you are selling first. I'm selling this 7,000 asset and mention the date, document posting date. But asset value date, it should be always end of the month date always. It cannot be middle date because it's going to be taken the last day of the asset value. That is after depreciation. So sale of asset I'll mention narration. So at what value I'm mentioning? I'm selling this asset at 130 rupees. I'm selling this asset at 130 rupees. So that as per my calculation, it should be 11 rupees profit. So enter amount and enter the asset and what's the value date. So till the asset value date means till what date the asset depreciation should be considered. So if you mention like 31/8, system will consider only as a August depreciation. If you mention 31/12 till this year end, it will calculate the depreciation. Remaining amount it will take. As of now, 1 rupee has taken. So go to extras here and simulate, so that you can see that. See here, 120 rupees which we purchased from accumulated depreciation 2099 GL account. Remember, 2099 GL account is the accumulated GL account which we have discussed. 2099 accumulated. So when I'm selling this asset, it will push the, so whatever the credit value it had, so it is pushing that credit value to debit here. Now gain from asset, so you can see here, gain from asset 11 rupees I'm getting. There is one asset revenue clearing account which we use it. We use it asset revenue clearing account. This account which we had created as non-operating GL, actually, if you, just I had discussed on this. Asset revenue clearing account, non-operating income or loss, GL type is non-operating. So we do create this and we do assign in AO90, where we connected all these GL accounts, wherever the GL accounts are coming, right? Whatever the GL accounts. One second. So, so if you remember, if you have seen that video, ORFA, in integration with general ledger accounting, assign accounting for B-20. So I go to account determination Z700. So here we have assigned all this GL account. In this, I have assigned one particular GL 4101. This is forward. So this GL, why do we use it? The reason behind it. See here, when I simulate this entry, it is sitting that 130 rupees, whatever the revenue which we are receiving from sale of asset, that is going to be go and sit it here. The reason behind it is very simple. So asset revenue clearing account is going to be one of the simple, like I can say that it's a non-operating GL account which we use it. See, at the time of sales, we don't know whether the customer who is buying here is there is no customer identity. We don't know whether the customer is going to be going to give cash or online transaction, or is going to give check or something. So we cannot decide at beginning, right, when you are doing the sales entry. That's the reason it will go and sit it in one revenue GL account, asset revenue clearing account. Once he gives the cash or whatever the mode he may give, that is going to be, this GL account is going to be credited. So now it's debited, it's going to be credited. Then actual cash or bank, whatever the way he processed, that GL account is going to be debited. So that's the reason we use this asset revenue clearing account. Okay, so here, so this once it is done, you can go back and you can save this entry. And now you go here and check that entry. You cannot see this here. So we can go to FB03. That's AA document is going to be the entry. FB03, that go to document list and you can check out execute without that. The AA document, asset accounting document. This is the asset accounting document that you can check out. See here, asset revenue clearing. Once we receive the cash, this we credit it, and cash or debit or cash or bank we are going to debit it. This is how it works. Asset revenue clearing account. So we had done the sales here, sale with profit. So for example, now if I go to AR01, if I go to AR01, the asset register, AR01 means asset register report, select ALV and execute. See this asset value has become 00 because that has gone out of the system. Double click on this and you can see here there is no value. So, and we had purchased for 130, we had purchased for 120 rupees here. We sold it for 11 rupees, so 130 rupees, and log gain 11 rupees, 1 rupee from depreciation. And if you go to posted value, here it will stop here itself, 1 rupee, it will stop. That means that's asset has gone out of the system. This is how just so at the same time, if you like, for example, if I take other asset like 7001, it is still active, and now the present value is actually 2 rupees is posted, 238 rupees. The present value of this is 238 because only posted value is 2 rupees, 238 rupees present net book value as on 38, as on 31st August. If I go here and I do sell that again, I do sell this second one for loss, 7001, and same date. And if I sell it for 238 rupees, right, if I sell it for 200 rupees, 38 rupees loss automatically updates. So just go here and simulate. See here, 38 rupees loss. It has picked up this 5300. If I sell it for 300 rupees, then automatically revenue GL account will come. If I sell it for 300, see, gain from this one, credit value will come. So this is how system automatically get the values and GL account from the configurations. It calculations and everything is going to be automated. So hope it's clear, right?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Yeah. So this is like saving actually. That is means there is one thing. ABAON is for a sale of asset. Like there is ABAVEN is there. Scrapping of asset. Scrapping of asset means what? There is no sale. Actually, scrap means enter waste. So whatever the value you have, it's completely waste. There is no resale. That is what the scrapping. Here, the difference between scrapping and this one is very simple. See here, this is ABAON, and I parallelly open ABABN. The difference between ABAON and ABABN is simple. Same screen, only thing you don't get this manual revenue or something. That means we don't get any revenue, right? Directly we have to book every loss. Everything, whatever is amount is there, it's going to be loss. There is no revenue at all. If you simulate here, it will book whatever the value. 238 rupees is ultimately loss. Loss of sale of asset or loss of scrapping, like that. This is what ABABN is for: sale of asset. Sorry, scrapping of asset. Got it now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And so the next scenario, there is one more scenario. So let me check any customer is there. No customer. Okay, leave it. So like this, we can go ahead. So next scenario, sometimes we have to transfer the value from one asset to asset or one place to another asset, place, like that. Example, see, you have this now. As of now, we have two assets in our hand, AR01. Right now, we have the value of two assets, 240 rupees and 240 rupees. Two values we have, but one is 10 years, another is 20 years. So suppose I want to add this out of this 240 rupees, whatever I have for factory building, I need to transfer some amount or full amount to factory 3. I want to merge this asset. I want to transfer the value from one asset to another asset, or else I want to transfer the value from one place to another place, maybe location wise and all. That we see later, but this one is simple. So there is one transaction is called ABAUN, AB, AB, ABUMN. One second. Hello. Yeah. So that is the T code is ABUMN. ABUMN. So this is we use it for the purpose of transfer of asset. Now suppose you see, I said now in this report, I add 100 rupees out of this, maybe to a full amount or 100 rupees, whatever the amount which I want, I will add it to factory 3. How can I do? So 7001 and 7002. So go to ABUMN. 7001. From 7001, I want to add on the date of 31st value, transfer of asset. So here, if I enter that 7002, if I enter the 7002, system will take full amount. So that will add whatever the present value. of like maybe 236 rupees, whatever the value, that will transfer entire value to from here to here, because present value you can see as on 31st. If I take 31st August, if I take the report is 31st August. So the 2 rupees, the value will 238 rupees. It will, for 238 rupees, it will be transferred to this account. That you can see here. So from 700, 238 rupees is going to be added to this. Simulate, I am not doing this. So actually, at least it should be 1 month old. The same month which I purchased. Let me take 9. Hmm? Oh, sorry, not this one. I thought same. It should be 2. Go here. You can see here from 7001 it's transferring to 7002, the value 240 minus 2 minus, so as on this date, that you can take that value here, 238 rupees it's transferring. No, I want to transfer only out of some part of that one, maybe 100 rupees or two. So generally it happens, what happens if the buildings are two buildings or three buildings are there, one building, three buildings are there, they identified separately, then they decide, no, no, these two buildings are should treated as one building or one asset. Like that, if they want, they can add that one. So here we have an option of partial transfer. Here I mentioned only 100 rupees value of value, 100 rupees value of that particular asset of the 7001 should be transferred, and it should be current year acquisition. Now we can, because we are acquired in this year, that's the reason. And you can go here and transfer. You can see this only 100 rupees is getting transferred. What is the portion of that 100 rupees? It's going to be depreciation also will be transferred. Now I save this 100 rupees, I transferred to that account. Just come and see here the report, just refresh this report. See here. So one out of 140 rupees, it has transferred 100 rupees to here, through 340 rupees, 100 rupees here, and depreciation also automatically adjusted. And if you double click on this 3, see here, 240 rupees it's purchased, 100 rupees it's acquired, transfer from current year acquisition, transferred. Like that we get the details as well. According to that, system automatically plans the depreciation. For example, till last August it was 1 rupee. As the amount is increased from September, it's going to be 1 rupee 42 paise. Like that, it automatically calculates everything. It will plan and calculate everything. It will update automatically. Got it now? Got it?
Yes, sir. Got it.
In relating to assets, we have one more topic. So that is asset under construction. Okay. So that's a little bit important topic. We'll take a break and we'll continue on that. Okay. AUC, that is asset under construction. That's nothing but CBP, we call it. CBP, capital work in progress. We take a break and we'll continue. 12:10. We'll connect at 12:20. Okay.
Okay, okay, sir.
Yeah. Are they?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. See, the concept of asset and construction is something like this. Some of the assets which will not be considered the asset until it's prepared. For example, you take a building. You construct a building. Until you start using it, it won't be considered as the building should not be considered for depreciation. That's the reason what we do. We create an like asset under construction. So from that, once it is finished, then we transfer. It's just like a contra asset. Contra GL concept is the same contra asset. Example, if I'm constructing a building, it will take 2 3 years or something, whatever the time may be. So what I do, I put all the expenses out or whatever the amount which we spend on it, we put it on that asset. Then we transfer it. For example, so I'll create one as AOC asset and book all the assets, all the value, all the expenses on this. I cannot say expenses, all the amount spent. So after once it is finished, so the actual values whatever is booked, maybe we have booked 10,000 rupees, 12,000 rupees, whatever the value which we booked, we will transfer it to actual asset. So why we require to do this one? Because AFC will not come under depreciation, and also if you transfer it as an actual asset, it should be considered as an using of the asset. And there may be chances you may have, like for example, at the time of building this expenses booking, it may transfer it to multiple assets. Like for example, you have building, you have furnitures and fixtures, like that you can transfer it to different assets. That's the reason. For this, what we should do, the same configurations whichever we have done here, right? The same configurations, we don't need to require any chart of depreciation, that is at company code level. So only at asset class level we have to create one more asset class for AUC. So for example, I'll create it like 710. After that, then remaining step whatever we have done, like assigning GL accounts and also activation of depreciation, it's mandatory. These two steps are mandatory. If you are adding any new what we call it as if you are adding any new asset class, these three steps to be mandatory. If you're adding the any asset class before creating asset under that, so because under asset class we create assets, we should do these steps for new asset classes. You may add like tomorrow you may add furniture and fixtures, you may add plant and machinery. You should do all these steps, like specifically these steps. Let me create asset class. I go to ORFA, the T code to create asset configurations. ORFA. Under this we can do all the configuration. Under organization structure, asset class. So I want to create a new asset class. First account determination, screen layout rule, and number range, and then asset class. The four steps which you have to do. First three, then asset class. So here I use this account determination. I go to new entries. Z710 I use it. Z710. Use asset and construction. That is V0 asset and construction. Save this. I created asset and the account determination. Yes, nice. Second step is screen level true. As we discussed, there is no new entry which we should copy from whichever is already SAP provided. For example, for asset and construction, we already have a standard 4000, which you can copy and make it your code Z710 B-20. Done. So the same thing, number range. For my company code B-20, if I create any assets for asset and construction, I use 71 series. I'll use it 700, or else I can use it a different series. Let me take it 8000 series. This is my choice. Whatever I can do it. I had given the number range 71. So using these three, I can create an asset class. Go to new entries. My asset class is 710. I use asset class B-20 and go to account determination. Account determination is also Z710, and the screen level rule is as well also Z710, but number range which I use is 71. But if you are creating any asset under construction, for all other asset classes, no changes, only this much. But for a asset under construction, should be selected line item settlement. The meaning of line item settlement is the whatever the assets which we create under this class, and which we whatever the amount which we book it against it, that are subjected to settlement. Settlement means that has to be transferred to actual assets in future. Save it. So once after doing this, the final two steps are there. One is we have to assign a GL account. The GL account is which we have to create one GL account. I go to FS00. For if I acquire any asset, what should be the GL? So example fixed assets, I have created one is asset building and accumulated depreciation. I copy this and I create it as 207 or else 2070, or else I cancel 2071. I'll create, so that it's going to be the same number, 2071. I change it asset AUC. All other things same, not a problem. So now, if I purchase any asset, if I create any asset under asset under construction and purchase it, so that go to assign GL account. Here I should tell the system for if I purchase any asset for asset under construction, that is Z071. Here you can see. So APC value, there is no depreciation. Generally we don't sell or something we don't do. So there is no depreciation, nothing. So only if I acquire. APC means what? Acquisition and production cost. Acquisition and production cost of this asset. So it should be posted to this GL account. Save it. So once it is done, go back. Finally, we have to activate depreciation. Even though we don't have to do the depreciation, but we should activate depreciation area. It's mandatory. But here there is no standard, there is no depreciation. Okay, depreciation key like WD or something, it's a depreciation key is 000 actually, because we don't want to calculate any depreciation on it. But we should activate and assign this GL so that it will calculate 0% depreciation. If you run it also, there is no depreciation on it. Go here, just close this, and below general valuation, here we have determine the depreciation areas in asset classes. Execute this. Go to Z170, Z710, sorry. As usual, just activate and 2000. But the thing is, here depreciation key should be 00. So for all other straight line method, we had used LINA, LINA. But here for asset and construction, we should use 00. That means we don't have any depreciation to be calculated for this. Once we do this, so our asset under construction configuration is completed. What did we do? We created account determination and screen level tool and number ranges. Through that, we created asset class, and we assigned the GL account for asset class, asset AUC, and we activity depreciation with 0% Now I can create one asset and I can book, and then I can think of the transfer of the values. Example, now you see I am constructing a building. I want to create one AUC asset that we know, that is AS01 is the code asset creation. AS01 asset creation slash n AS01 Z710. The T code is Z710. Sorry, the class asset class is Z710. I am creating building AUC, and there is no time dependency only here. Here it's 00. If you enter a year, if you don't enter, there is no use. There is no use because it does not have any calculation. Just save this. This is my asset under construction GL. Now I do book. I purchase some assets on this. For example, I go to F-90, the asset purchase, bill number 3, 4 from the same vendor. Let me purchase 1000 rupees. The 70 is the the posting key which we know. The asset or debit is 70, and enter the asset code, or else you can pick up the asset code from the list. This is 8000 is there, and this is external acquisition 100 is always 100. Enter 1000 rupees I am purchasing. Once I book 1000 rupees, and you can simulate and save it. Second time I do purchase again, bill number 5 with the same vendor. Let me book 2000 rupees and 70 again and 100. Now you see I booked 2000 and 1000, 3000 rupees I have booked here. Save it. I can go and check the values here also. See here, I can pick up the asset in this is a separate actually T code. AW01 is separate T code which we can drive through AR01 also. So if I enter, you can see that the asset is booked 3000 and there is no depreciation plan, nothing. So 1000 rupees I booked and 2000 because it does not have any depreciation attraction. So that's the reason its depreciation is 0. Now our construction is completed, 3000 rupees. I want to create an actual asset and I want to transfer. Example, I will create like one factory building is like, okay, office building 1, office building 2. Two assets I create and I can transfer this value for that. Example, I create two more assets, AS01 under normal group 700 building. Let me create like office building 01 and depreciation area. I'll book it as here. You can see that Lena has come because Lena is by default. It's as per asset class straight line method. One asset which I created, that is 7003 has come. One more asset I create, factory number 2, office building 2. Here also 10 years I mentioned. This is 7003 44. Sorry, two assets has been created now. AS03 and AS4. That is sorry, factory office building 1, office building 2. Now, so from this, whatever the value which I booked here, for example, for 8000 asset, that is AUC asset, I booked a value of 3000 rupees. I expenses done. I need to transfer this to one is 7003 that is office building 1, and 7004 is there. Office building number 2. Suppose you think this attracts 2000 or else 1800 rupees. This is 1200 rupees. That means I want to divide this. I want to transfer this value. So the 3000 rupees, whichever I booked it in this under this asset class, because this asset class is subjected to settle. Settle means we have to transfer this value to this one. So what is the meaning of this? One second. We booked this value and we have to transfer this to two assets. So there are two steps to be done here. One is to transfer this value. One is we call it AAAB, that is distribute value, and AIBU, that is settlement entry. That means here we tell whatever the plan we had, right? So that we tell to the system, you transfer this much value to this value and this much to this value, and then we can make the end. There is some one error, we will get it, that I will tell you why. So go to AIAB. So enter the AUC asset and tell the system, see here when you execute this, so whatever the interest which we booked for this total value, it will show here. So there's 2000 and 2000, that is in red color. That means what? So this is the value which is lying in this asset, that is particular AUC asset building, whichever we have done. And now I want to distribute as per my plan. I want to distribute this 1800 to office 7003, 1800 to 1200 to 7002. So here I should select this all and go to enter and tell the system, settlement rule profile. Okay. So this I thought of doing later, but let me do this before. So before doing this one entry, I can do from here only, but I will do that. Okay. So what you can do, so go to ORFA before doing this AIAB, go to transactions, under that AUC. Here we have this settlement profile, define and assign. Define and assign under this transaction under this one. So what I say, directly assign it. There is no defining is required. Before doing this, before doing distribution AUC, assign settlement profile to company code. So the key code for this actually ORFA. See, assign settlement profile to company code. Just go here. OAAZ. The T code is OAAZ. O double A. Assign settlement profile. What you should do? Here already company code is there. Just settlement profile. That is AI is there. A1. AI. settlement profile for this one. That has a little bit that has different idea behind it that you understand at the time of internal order in detail. Right now, just directly assign this and save it. No need to do anything. Just assign AI. In detail, we learn it in at the time of internal order. Just do this. Now you can come and enter this. Select all, enter. Sorry, let me come from beginning. AI, AB, and execute. Select all and enter. So when you enter this, we get this screen actually. So how it has to be settled, system will tell you. Now under this I'll take this category. There is FXA is there asset. Just say take this. So enter the, if you select as a FXA, you should enter the asset here. Which asset you have to take? 7003 and 7003. That will be appear here. So you can see here. Office building 7003 and 7004. Office building 1, office building 2. Double click on this. And how much you want to enter? You can enter 1800. You transfer 1800 rupees to this. Again FXA 7004. 1200 rupees to this. So I can tell the system how much I want to transfer this, and just do this and go back. Now I have distributed this and save it. Distribution is saved. Now you go back, go to AIBU next step, and run the settlement. Very simple. There you get one error, actually number range error. First time you will get it. I will correct it from here only. Here we should tell the system, okay, what is the asset value date? Asset value date, as I said, it should be always last day of the month. Now I'm transferring from 8,000 to that whatever the distribution which I said, right? I'm transferring. You can run it and test run and say execute this. See here, it is transferring from 7003. It's that mean like 1800 and 1000. It's okay. It's everything is okay. Just remove the tester and we get one error, number range error first time. Okay, just execute this. See the number range I said. Now this, because we can configure it instead of, if you get this error, now just click on this and just go to this, click on this number range. It's easiest way to do that one actually. Highlight where you have to go. It's example you can see here. Maintain number ranges for settlement action. Just execute this. And here click on this group, change groups. Click on where I clicked, this blue color, change groups. Find your company code BI for 20 and click on this group, assign element to group. Just click on 01 and save it. What did I do? Here I clicked on this group and I selected my company and click on this group and selected this. I selected something different now because my company I cannot say select, but like this you can do this. This was a simple activity. Now do the same thing. AIBU, enter the date, enter the asset which you want to settle, AUC settlement, remove test run and execute. This is posted. One entry got posted. 1003. You can see this. This is the number. We can go and see the detail in AW like AR01 now. Go to AR01 and execute without any asset class. and execute. You see here, factory building we sold it, that's the reason it's 0. And AUC we have booked it, but it's 0 because we have transferred this to this value. And if I double click on this AUC, you see here we have purchased for 1000 rupees and 2000 rupees from external acquisition, and we had been transferred to other assets. If you double click on this, you can see the entry. See, from 2071, 2007 to 2000, the GL account. So 7003, 7004 has been booked debit, and this is credited. In description, you see the asset account. Actually, you don't see the names of GL. So this has been become 0 now. There is no value. It always subjected to settle. You cannot carry the values for long time. And you can see here office building and this one. For example, this building which we acquired actually, that we can external acquisition, we can see 100 240 rupees, 100 rupees we transferred. 240 is actually we have acquired from 100 transaction type from customer, from the vendor. You can see, double click, the vendor has been booked, and vendor, you can see this in asset accounting, you can see creditors GL to this one has made. But if you click on this office building, that is transferred from, you can see 340, the transaction type is acquisition transfer. It is not directly acquired from vendor. It is transformed from 8000 to 7003 and 7004. So this is how we can track the reports. Hope it's clear, right, Mahadev?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this ends our asset topics. Okay. So you do practice this. Obviously, if you practice multiple time, you get some idea actually. And unless and until you don't practice now, it looks very easy. But when you are practicing only, you get the actual facts. Okay. Practice it. So in your case studies and tickets and all, you get a lot of tickets on this. Right now, you just practice for understanding. Right now. Okay. So tomorrow we see, we are going to learn from tomorrow is integration. Integration, it's very much important. Integration with other modules, typically MMSDPP, these modules. Got it? Other?
ಸರ್ ಇದು ಫಿಯರಿ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಾಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಿತ್ತು.
Sorry,
ಅದೇ ಸರ್
theory, no?
ಇದು ಲಾಸ್ಟ್.
Yeah,
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್, ಫಿಯರಿ
yeah, yeah.
ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಾಲ್.
Can you connect me in AnyDesk right now after this?
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್, ಎಸ್ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್.
Yeah, I close this now, and you just ping me your AnyDesk number. I'll connect and I'll install it. Okay. Yeah.
Sure.